All right, back to you.
Sweet. Whoop. I'll move this. This is going to be in the way. All right, y'all, what's going on? Hello. Happy Thursday.
It's nice to be with y'all today. Cool. Well, thank y'all for having me out. I appreciate it. Dev and the crew, thank you so much for having me. I am really excited to be here because I really wish I had someone like myself speak to me when I was in college. Because to be quite frank with you, I floundered my 4 years in college and did not take advantage of connecting with people. And so that's what this talk's gonna be about. So I want to give a quick background about myself. My name is Taylor Desseyn, and I'm a recruiter. So I want to say now, if you want to be in tech, but you're struggling with your like technical classes, but you really want to be in like tech culture, you could be a recruiter. No one told me that. No one fucking told me that. So also I cursed, so if that's a problem, I'm sorry. But basically, I want to let you know, if you are a people person, and like literally no one told me this. So I went to University of South Carolina, a big SEC football guy. And I went to school, business school for 4 years, and no one ever told me what a recruiter was. So I'm going to first tell you that if you like really want to be in tech, but like you're really bad at your classes when it comes to like coding and stuff, you can be a technical recruiter if you like talking to people and have a very successful career. And I'm going to go over today too about different ways you can be in tech. How many people in here, just to set the tone, how many, is everybody in here in tech to a certain point? All right, cool. So everybody's in here wants to be in tech, sweet. So yeah, a little about me. My name is Taylor Desseyn. I've been recruiting for 11 years now. To put it in perspective, that is a really fucking long time. Most recruiters bail after 2 to 3 years because it is a grind. My job is literally to meet people. It's shifted now. Now I speak a lot, but how I started out was meeting people constantly. So to put it in perspective, recruiters meet on average 10 to 15 new people a week. New. Right? So how many weeks are there in a year? This isn't a trick question. Right, so what's 52 times 15? I'm bad at math, so that's what I'm presenting to y'all. Whatever that is, 52 times 15? Anybody? 7 what? 780? Yeah. So I've met, so what's 780 times 11? 8,500. So I've met 8,500 something people in my career now at this point. And so everything I'm going to come at you today and talk to you about tonight for the next 6 hours, we're going to do a little sleep in tonight, is basically all career focus, all job focus. And I will tell you this, I'm going to probably give you more information and better information than most college professors. I'm just going to go and say it now. My favorite class I ever took in college was a 1-hour credit course where I learned how to write a resume, where I learned how to interview, which is hilarious because that's what I do now. And that was my favorite course. And I learned more out of that 1-hour course in my entire 4 years in South Carolina. That could be an issue with curriculum, but we're not going to get that today. And so I moved up to Nashville to do music, like everyone else. Anyone here a musician? Everybody playing music? Kind of, sort of? Sweet. Well, I went to do Nashville like everyone else and tried to make it, and I did not. One of the reasons why I truly think I did not make it in music is because I did not know how to network. So my goal today is to, by the end of this session, by the way, what's our like kind of hard stop? Because I mean I could go forever. So like what's our hard stop? Do we have a hard stop? Huh? Usually it's 8. All right, good. So 8:30. So basically, and y'all can leave. It won't hurt my feelings none. And so basically, what I did was I moved to Nashville for music. I was serving tables, and I didn't know how to find a job. I knew 9-to-5s existed, but I grew up in the restaurant industry. My dad owned restaurants for his entire life. Any parents that are restaurant owners or anybody in here grew up in the restaurant industry? No. That is a whole separate industry. It's really, really tough, really grueling, it's a grind. And so I moved to Nashville, and I was working 6 nights a week serving tables, and I was losing money. And I wasn't playing any music because I'm a drummer. I wasn't songwriting during the day, which mostly people do in Nashville. I needed to be free at nights. My idiot self was going to take on another nighttime job because I thought that was going to fix something. And then I leveraged my network at the time. I asked, there was this girl who I had a crush on. She didn't like me back. She didn't lead singer. Story of my life. Up until I met my wife. And I was like, hey, who do you know? And she was like, well, I nanny for somebody. I can ask. I said, great. I said, if that person can afford a nanny, I want to do that. And so they were like, hey, they're hiring for a recruiter. I said, I don't know what a recruiter is, but it sounds great. Sign me up. I interviewed 3 days later, got the job offer, and I've been at the same company for 11 years now. And so everything I'm going to talk about today is like, I always preface all my talks like this. I'm only like one part of the puzzle. I'm not the end all be all. I'm very blessed and very grateful to be in front of you tonight. I do not take it lightly because essentially, like, I wish I had someone speak to me like I'm going to speak to you tonight. But I will tell you this. I think if you do really take into practice what I preach tonight, I think you are going to be very happy with your network and your connections when you graduate. That is going to set you up for your first job in your career. And so the first thing I want to get to tonight is LinkedIn. All right, so LinkedIn, how many of y'all like have actually created your LinkedIn profile? Raise your hand. Thank God. All right, if you asked me that question in 2011, like no one would have raised their hands. And so basically, LinkedIn, at least when I was in school, it was a platform that you created and you never touched, and you know it was just kind of like left there. You're like, all right, LinkedIn, blah blah blah. I don't know. Does anybody actually like post on LinkedIn? Actually use LinkedIn like as a content tool? Does anybody post here? All right, one and a half. I see some ish. So by the end of this talk, my goal is for you to go all in on LinkedIn. Right, we're gonna talk Twitter. We're gonna talk Polywork real quick. We're gonna hit. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna talk real fucking fast. I'm gonna be honest with you. If y'all have a date at 8:05, tell me you're gonna be late. We're gonna go at 8:30. It's just there's just so much content. But if y'all want to leave, that's totally fine. We're gonna touch on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Polywork. Anybody here heard of Polywork? Raise your hand. Great. All right, a few people. That's awesome. Deb, you don't count. So basically, Polywork is another one we're gonna touch today. So first thing about LinkedIn. So I'm going to go over how to build a LinkedIn. What are the important parts? We're going to fly through it. We're going to talk about how to use LinkedIn to network with folks. We're going to dive into Twitter, same basics, super high level, how to build it, how to use it. Same thing with Polywork. And then I'm going to send you all on your way, and I'm going to go and crash in my hotel room because this is my second presentation of the day. So first thing, LinkedIn. The cover banner photo thingy. I don't know if that's a technical term, but we're going to call it that. Cover banner photo thingy. So I think it's fascinating that LinkedIn, a text-heavy platform, put a visual thing at the very top with probably a bunch of people who aren't super creative, right? Think about LinkedIn. You don't think creativity on LinkedIn, right? Like that's just not a thing. So it's fascinating they put this here, and I've and all this talk, and so this talk stemmed out of COVID, right? So networking pre-COVID was like show up to these things, you guys eat your canes. You don't talk to anybody new, and you leave, and that's it. Like that's networking, right? Really, truly, if I were to do it correctly, I wouldn't even talk. I would make y'all talk to each other the whole time, right? But I'm not because it's late, and some of y'all probably don't want to do that. And so I've been fascinated with how people network, especially nerds, right? Because let's face it, like we're all nerds in here, all of us. We're in tech. I'm in tech. I'm a nerd, big nerd, right? My wife makes fun of me all the time. I was like, did you see like this latest release on this app? She goes, stop, you're being annoying, right? So LinkedIn, when it comes to this, is a text heavy. The visual photo I've been fascinated with other people's profiles. And this is a way to lure people, draw people into your profile. All right, so for example, I was doing a one-on-one counseling session with a gentleman who was looking for his first job out of boot camp. And he was the Backstreet Boys audio engineer on like, I guess they did like a little like reunion thing recently or something. And basically he was their back of the house audio engineer. I said, dude, you need to put that shit on your profile because like that will cause me to talk to you, right? So what did he do? This guy went on LinkedIn, threw this up, like went on Canva. Anybody here familiar with Canva, C-A-N-V-A? Yeah. I call it Design for Dummies. So if anybody knows anybody in marketing at Canva, I think Canva's motto should be Design for Dummies. So go in there. It literally has pre-made banners and put something about yourself, right? Like, you know, let's say that you have a talent of some sort, right? Put it on there, right? I obviously do a lot of volunteering at National Software School in Nashville for coders. And everybody's in career. Everyone's like shifting careers, right? Chefs, musicians, whatever. So use this as a way to say, hey, I did this and I want to do this, and invite people in your profile, right? Networking is about having something in common. That's all networking is. It's having one thing in common and taking that and building a relationship around that. And so if you can, so like for me, follow for hiring advice for both company and candidates that work, seriously, you know what you're getting into when you follow me, right? And it probably tells you a little bit about me. And so think about something that you love to do, right? Maybe you're an aspiring chef who loves cybersecurity. How many people in here are cybersecurity? Because I know there's like, I've talked to a few folks. Anybody in here like pure software engineering? Anybody? Is there, what else am I missing? Data, cool, sweet. So like, tie the two together, right? The job search today in today's world is about being your true self and tying into your passions, right? And so the cover banner photo thing is a great way to do it. Any questions? This is Q&A too. So any questions on the cover banner photo thingy? Yes. Headline example? Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you could say, I don't know, what do you like to do outside of school?
Does it have to relate to the major?
No, it doesn't. No, that's what I'm saying. Like what do you like to do? Like tennis, hockey, guitar? Great. You know, passionate about guitar, targeting cybersecurity opportunities, right? Like, you know, a lot of people put like live, laugh, love, like John 3:16, or like a photo of a fucking mountain. Like, that's just not gonna help you find a job. It's just not, right? What's gonna help you find a job is putting some shit on the top of your profile that makes people want to DM you, right? I could be a guitar player, be like, hey bro, how long have you playing guitar for? Right? And starting those conversations, which is what you need to do, okay? Any other questions? Yes.
So what defines something like you should put on your banner?
Honestly, anything. Seriously, I mean, again, it is an opportunity. Okay, so here, let me pull up my guy Dan Thompson. So Dan and I are in a podcast together called Unicorn Finders, right? I love Dan's cover banner photo thingy. On his far left, so the human eye reads what? Left to right, top to bottom. That's why the cover banner photo thing is so important. It's at the very top of your profile, right? So what did Dan do? Dan put his most pertinent information on the left-hand side. Why? Because the human eye, left to right. Email, Twitter handle. Right? Dan has the largest Florida Gators podcast in the country, right? So if you follow Dan, it's all Florida Gators. I love Dan to death, but I hate Florida. But then what did he say? He's an advocate, relationship builder, connector, wine guy. So if I want to connect with Dan and I'm a huge wine guy, hey bro, what's your favorite wine? His favorite wine is Chablis. I know that means we're BFFs, right? So again, just an example as you know, it doesn't have to be over thought out, right? Passionate about hockey, soccer, and cybersecurity, right? Something to build rapport. All right, next thing, moving on, because again, we're gonna fly through this. And then I will take questions at the end, because again, I really do want to be respectful to all y'all's time. The profile picture, now you're probably like, whoa, Taylor, what's that video? So everybody has access to this. Do people know that there's a creator mode on LinkedIn? Everybody raise your hand. I see nods. I want hand raised, right? Not a lot of people. There's something called creator mode where, hey, listen, it's not a ton, but what I really, really love is two things. One, it gives you the option to do a video for your picture. So like when you go to your profile, you can view who I am as video. And you're able to have hashtags. I don't know how these help. I guess if people search like remote jobs, I may pop up in their search. And then there's also an audio thing too, which is, I think is kind of cool. Like I just tell a little bit about me as well. So the profile picture is super important, right? Like super important. If I don't know, like if your all school offers headshots, but in my perspective, a headshot is one of the single most important parts of your job search. Why? Because we live in a virtual world. I'm so happy to present in person in front of y'all, because the last 2 years presenting virtually is kind of hard, right? In person is so much easier. And so, but at the end of the day, you will most likely put an online application for a job online that probably, based off cybersecurity and tech, is going to be remote, right? So you need to be able to have a profile picture that this is your first impression, right? Some of y'all got bathroom selfies from MySpace days. Yeah, knock that shit out. Like, it's just, some of y'all got clean bathroom mirrors too, right? So have a profile picture where you're smiling, because this is the first opportunity for an employer to see who you are. I need to see your face. Don't take a moody picture. No moody pictures. This is a place where you smile, look happy, because it is the first impression a manager is going to see. All right. I would also advise to have a profile picture that stands out. So again, think about Twitter, Facebook, not really Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, right? It's all profile picture driven, right? Oh shit, he or she posted. Well, how'd you know about that? Well, that's a profile picture. Saw it, right? It stands out, right? So you need a profile picture that stands out. My tactic is two things. One, a colorful shirt and a plain background like I did, or a colorful background and a plain outfit, right? You want something to stand out. And we'll get to this in a second. Probably say, why are you going over profile pictures like this? We'll get there, because when I talk about developing content, professional content, it actually goes a really, really long way. So that's my 2 cents with profile pictures. I would absolutely do a cover video if you're comfortable in front of the camera. Even if you're not, I would still try to do it, because video carries so much weight. LinkedIn is a text-heavy platform. If you want to put yourself out there for employers, and we're going to get that here in a second, you need to do video. Open up your phone, selfie style. Listen, all of us are really comfortable posting on B-Reel what we're doing when it triggers, right? We're all comfortable sending each other Snapchats in class. Why aren't we comfortable putting ourselves on camera talking about our professional work? That's where I want y'all to get to by the end of this conversation. The next thing, if y'all have zoned out already, the next thing is the title portion. So the title portion, in my perspective, is the single most important. That's not the title, that's my name. The title portion is the single most important part of your profile. The reason for this, and I'll show you here in a second, is because this is what recruiters really look at. In my perspective, again, this is just my 2 cents. This is what recruiters really look at when we try to find somebody, right? So let's say, who's a company in Cincinnati that hires out of University of Cincinnati a lot? Okay. Did you say P&G or Siemens? That's fine. All right. So, let me spell that. Is that correct? SIE. There you go. All right. So here's why it's important, right? Because I'm actually doing it the opposite way, but I'll still show you the point of it. So basically, so let's say I was a recruiter. I am a recruiter. Let's say I'm trying to recruit people out of Siemens, right? Here's why it's important. You see Osman, Director of Software Engineering. You see John, Chief Product Architect. You see Mur, Senior Design Quality Engineer. They put their titles in their title portion. Because here's the deal. There are 5.8, well, that's 5.8 million followers. If we're talking about just people, there's 965,000 people that they've either worked at Siemens or are currently there. As a recruiter, if I'm trying to recruit out of Siemens, I don't have time to go through that many profiles. Ain't no one got time for that. So what do? I quickly skim their titles. If I'm trying to find a hiring manager, if I'm trying to find a director of engineering, guess who I'm messaging? I'm literally messaging Osman without even opening up his profile. Why? Because I know exactly what he does without opening his profile. The whole point of this talk tonight is to try to get as much attention to your profile online by future recruiters and hiring managers hiring out of college, right? Like, I don't get a ton of junior roles, but when I do, like, I go to LinkedIn. This is how I search. This is how recruiters search. So you need to optimize your title portion for what you do, right? So, you can say, like, current Cincinnati student, focus on cybersecurity, targeting, pen testing roles or something like that, right? This is kind of like your SEO. In my perspective, this is your SEO. So you may have to mess around with it every 30 days because this is what really can kind of hone in your profile. But I really put the keywords, right? What are some cybersecurity buzzwords? Pen testing, I know is one. What else? Okay, what else? Firewall, right. So that's what I would put up there, right? Current Cincinnati student targeting cybersecurity opportunities in X and Y, right? So that way, if I'm a recruiter for a company and I find your profile, I can look at that immediately and then DM you. Does that all make sense? Cool. Any questions on that? Because this is really important. If you guys get anything out of this tonight, it's literally the title portion of your LinkedIn is the thing that probably is going to make people find you more than anything else. Cool. All right, moving on. The next part is the featured section. So the featured section is a great opportunity for you to direct to classwork, projects, videos about yourself. In my perspective, I would literally open up. So if I were you, I would go home tonight, maybe not tonight, maybe sometime this weekend, and I would Google the top 10 most asked cybersecurity questions for junior talent. Google it, come up, find those questions, put them up on your laptop, open up your phone, set it up on a stand, and go, hey, y'all, my name is Taylor Desseyn. I'm a student at University of Cincinnati targeting cybersecurity roles and blah, 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 blah. And I want to let you know a little bit about myself. Listen, you know, one of my strengths is this. One of my weaknesses is this. I'm telling you, I had a girl in Germany. She found me on LinkedIn, the power of LinkedIn. She found me from Germany. And she goes, I literally took your advice, created a video for myself, and I got a job because a hiring manager came to my profile and she was an opera singer turned software developer. And a manager found her profile. They were searching for, she did some side work, and the hiring manager clicked on her video, watched it, loved what he heard. Basically, she bypassed the first interview, went directly to a technical round, got the offer. I know multiple people that have done that and have gotten a job. That's just one that really stands out because she was so psyched. And I don't blame her at all. So again, featured sections opportunity to do, like, if you have like a really, really big, like senior, like class project that y'all had to collab on, that showcases all the buzzwords you said, throw it up on here. This is a way to link out of LinkedIn, because we'll get to this in a second. If you post links on LinkedIn as posts, LinkedIn, the algorithm throttles it so it doesn't get seen, because they want to keep people on the LinkedIn platform, right? So this is one place to go, and people can go check you out on all other places, right? GitHub is a great spot for those software devs in here, aspiring software devs. GitHub's a great thing to put here, right? Any questions on the featured section? No? Cool, moving on. All right, the activity. So here's why the activity section, so I have never really talked about this before. So again, zoned out, come back to me real quick. The activity section is really important. Why? It gives you it showcases you, it shows you, not showcases, it shows you how active a person is, right? So this highlights your last 90 days. So we're gonna get to how to network on it here in a second. I would always check a user's activity before DMing them, because if they haven't posted anything in 90 days, the likelihood that they're gonna respond back to you is probably what? Pretty small. Everybody say it again. Pretty small. Okay, cool, right. Love the energy tonight. All right, so the about section. Listen, the about section is kind of meh. I'm not going to talk about that much. Put keywords in here. Keywords. Recruiters and hiring managers, we search on keywords. Pen testing. What other things you said, right? You know, if you're, I can speak to software engineering a lot better, right? .NET, C++, C#, React. Put that into your about section, right? Hey, current Cincinnati student, and I'm targeting C# opportunities, right? That's what the about section is and does. Any questions on the about section? Cool. How to actually write your LinkedIn. This is what most people have problems with. All right, so I'm going to make this super quick, super short to the point. By the way, has anybody told you like Trevor Wallace? You know Trevor Wallace is really fucking funny comedian on TikTok. It's really weirding me out right now, but he's really funny. So like, yeah, it really.
He came here last year.
Did he?
Yeah, it was his friend.
Did he? Yeah. Well, you could literally be his twin. All right. So, how to write your LinkedIn profile? Make it project based, right? Here's the deal. University of Cincinnati is your company. Does that make sense? So I have Baco. You're going to put University of Cincinnati. That's your company. That's the company you work for, right? You are employed at the University of Cincinnati. And then what you're going to do is you're going to break down all your projects that you've done in college. Project work. Same thing with resume. The biggest mistake that everyone has when writing a resume and writing a LinkedIn is y'all just like list a bunch of tasks. It's just like word vomit, right? Like great communicator. I did this. I did that. I leveraged this. I leveraged, and it's just like, it's not telling a story. I want a story told, right? The job search is about storytelling. So here's how you do that. First bullet point on your LinkedIn should be, tell me about the project like you're describing to somebody in your family. Let's face it, how many of y'all call your parents at home and you like tell them about what you're doing in class and they're like, what? right? Yeah, everybody, right? I mean, I'm not even technical. My mom was like, you code? No, I don't. Find them, right? So what I would do is I would talk about your project, classroom project, like you're talking to somebody in your family. So for example, like for me, like let's say I wrote an app that keeps track of stray cats in my neighborhood, right? I'm a big cat guy, right? Keep track of stray cats in my neighborhood. That's really easy to understand, right? Everybody knows, everybody can understand that app. It's a mobile app and it keeps track of stray cats. The next 2 or 3 bullet points, depending on how robust the app is the main technology that you use to build the app. So for example, I leveraged X technology for Y problem because of Z, right? I leveraged React to build the front end because we needed a light framework to do fast load times. Again, I'm making this up, right? I'm not trying to act like I know what I'm talking about, right? The next bullet point, I leveraged Node.js on the back end for faster response time, and we pulled from AWS Lambda services, right? Cybersecurity, same thing, put your buzzwords in there that you mainly use, pen testing for X, something for Y, spelled out. The last bullet point needs to be listing your entire tech that you use in your class project, right? So let's say you wrote a C# app using React, C#, Azure, and SQL, right? Include all the tech, all the toy in that last bullet point. Why? Because again, recruiters and hiring managers go very narrow to start. We go on LinkedIn, and if I have a hiring manager that says, Taylor, I need a junior developer coming out of college that has coursework in React and C# with some AWS. Let's say you didn't really leverage AWS, but you like opened it up and maybe deployed something to it, but primarily it was like on-prem C#.net, right? If you don't put that AWS, my search string is going to be C#, React, and AWS. Because I want to go super narrow and find the perfect fit, because I ain't got time to sift through 950,000 profiles, right? If you don't put AWS because you like, I barely touched it, so I don't think it's important, you're not going to pop up in my search string. And you could miss out on the opportunity to have the job because you didn't think something was important when it actually is, because you at least touched it. So all that makes sense. That is how you write a LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn doesn't need to be like your complete work history. I don't need to know that you bartend at the bar down the street from University of Cincinnati. It needs to be tech focused. Now again, people have fought me over this. I understand there's differencing of opinions. Some people say it should be like your resume. I don't think so. Some people should say if you're a junior, you should put your entire work history. Again, I don't think so, because when I go to LinkedIn, I want to see what you've done technically. Your resume, on the other hand, needs to be, I worked at the bar down the street, I volunteered doing this. Obviously put volunteer on LinkedIn as well, but your resume is more robust. Yes, question? Is that a question? Oh no, you were just preaching. Any questions so far? I know I'm talking a lot, trying to get all this done. Yes. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Resume, especially out of college, like I need to see everything. Right? So yeah, totally fine. Yeah.
Wouldn't you so usually ITSA tell people to keep resumes to one page, depending on how to like add everything, but on LinkedIn you can put everything when people don't, like you said, people just like search keywords.
Sure.
And it shows up. So wouldn't it be better to like have it on LinkedIn compared to like resume where you have like something?
Well, so I want all your technical stuff on LinkedIn, right? So chalk it full with as many words as possible. Your resume, I want to see like your non-technical stuff too. Does that make sense? So yeah, listen, I'm like your resume can be like super long. Let's say like you're volunteering at like 3 nonprofits that are like tech and you're helping them, and your LinkedIn is relatively long. That's great. Fill it up. Resume, still fill it up, but I just want to see your tech stuff on LinkedIn. Does that answer your question? And then there was a length about resume. Listen, if you have enough information, it's okay to go over one page. I want to say that. I have a podcast called Guidance Counselor 2.0 that I've been doing for 2.5 years now, where I interview top engineering leaders and job seekers across the country about their stories. Like consistently, it's okay to go more than one page. But the reason why I called it Guidance Counselor 2.0 is because I want to kick the guidance counselor in the shin who kept saying it's only one page resumes. Like if you have enough work and you have enough volunteer experience where it bleeds into 2 pages, that's fine. Totally fine. Yes.
So for our LinkedIn page, there should be only technical elements to it. So should projects be put above the experience, like actual work that you've done yourself, like you exploring your passion? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
this coding project, I did this coding channel.
Yeah, you can frame it different ways. I mean, I would say if your side projects have been more technical in nature than your coursework or maybe course projects, yeah, put those near the top, right? And then what I would do is, you know, again, the company needs to be, you know, I guess whoever you are, you know, maybe you could just say freelance too.
And the way we should describe our experience, both in the job and our personal projects, they should just be like accomplishments that we've done.
Yeah, so you're describing the project and the accomplishments, right? So I built out a mobile app, so it keeps track of stray cats. It leverages these technologies, and we have 50 users on the app.
So that should be that order. So I use these tools to build this, and this was the result.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. Any more questions? We got more food. I'm gonna crush that shit after this. Hey, yes, what's up?
I have projects in the project section. So should those be moved up to?
Yes, yes, it needs to be moved up to experience. Because here's the deal, whether it's right or wrong, when I look at projects, I like tune them out. Like, and I may be the only recruiter that thinks that. I don't think that though. Like when I see experience, for me in my brain, it immediately favors projects. So put projects in experience, right? Any more questions? This is good shit. Anybody bored yet? Don't answer that question. All right, last thing, recommendations. Recommendations are incredibly important. Recommendations, listen, when you go eat at a restaurant, where do you go to see if it's a good restaurant? Boom. So glad y'all answered that correctly. Google reviews, right? Same thing here. Now, when I look at two candidates, I'm not like, ooh, I'm gonna pick candidate A over candidate B because they got more recommendations. But if I'm evaluating a handful of candidates and I need to make a cut somewhere, and one of y'all has 5 recommendations and one of y'all has 0, who do you think I'm gonna probably put the nod towards at least first? The 5 recommendations. The biggest thing I get, Taylor, I've never had a technical professional job. How am I going to get recommendations or references? Listen, every hiring manager I've interviewed on my podcast said the same thing. They view every person coming out of college and boot camp the same. Basically, technically the same. What they look for are the non-technical things. How well you work with others. Do you need your hand held in task? Are you inquisitive? All those things a non-technical hiring manager can write for you, right? It's okay to do a colleague, or a classmate. I wouldn't do like multiple classmates. I'd probably just pick one, right? But have 2 or 3 in here. It's incredibly important. I look at them. I personally look at them when I go to your profile. Any questions on recommendations? Yes.
Recommendations of college advisors and faculty members.
Great. Great. That works too. Yep.
To what extent do you think you could have 2 main recommendations?
Never. People saying nice things about you will never hurt you, right? Now, if you got like your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, like maybe not. But like, yeah, if you get like, you know, maybe not 15 classmates, right? Like maybe not that. But like, sure, if you got like 5 or 6 people writing, great. I mean, I got what, 20 something? Yeah, doesn't hurt. Yeah.
So I wasn't really a British teacher. How would you ask for it?
Love it. You do, hold on. Pencil? Is it pencil? Yeah. No, it's not that. Ask, there you go. Ask, there you go. Plus mark, ask for recommendation. You type in the person. I'm gonna, Dan Thompson. Dan. Continue. How do I know Dan? Dan managed me directly. Please select position right there. Hey, Dan, can you please write a recommendation on my work ethic, attitude, and charisma? Thanks. Send. Everybody got that? I love it. Bet y'all are just thrilled talking about LinkedIn on a Thursday night. All right, so all right, now we're gonna dive into I'm gonna dive into how to actually use LinkedIn here, right? So using LinkedIn, this is the most important part of this entire talk right here. So there's 3 ways to use social media to land your dream job, right? Posting content. Who in here likes posting things to the internet, like content? Yeah. If I did that question with like my age group, they'd be like, right? It's a different age group, which is why I was so excited to talk to y'all tonight, because I think the creator mentality, the creator mode for the younger generation is like way more evident, and it can really, really help you on the job search. 2, the second way to use social media to land your dream job is liking and commenting on people's statuses, right? Hey man, what's going on? What's your name? I'm Taylor.
Nice to meet
You're
you.
nice. What do you do?
Currently CS student at UC, second year, secretary at ACM UC, which is one of the largest programs in UC at UC.
Awesome. Oh, that was a really long handshake. We'll talk to that. Just like locked eyes, like, here I go. So that was the equivalent of liking and commenting on someone's status. Does everybody get that? Because here's the deal, when you like and comment, right? So let's say like Instagram, you pull up Instagram and like your friend like, you know, like went out the night before, like posted a picture like, oh, this is great, like this is great, right? Like that's interaction, right? That's like we over romanticize the old way of doing things. Thank you letters, handshakes, in person, right? I have scaled my entire business online over the last 2 years. I am not here today unless I chose to lean into social media to scale my business. And I'm 33 years old, and I've gone all in on social media because what I realize is this, right? Open up your phones real quick. Open up your phones. Go to, go to your contacts. Yeah, contacts. All right, now just scroll. Just scroll. Just scroll. Well, you have no friends. Just scroll. Just, everybody scrolling? Everybody scrolling? I'm sure y'all got a lot of contacts in there, don't you? When was the last time you talked to all those contacts? Years. So here's why I told you to do that. Me and my wife took a trip over to Europe last month, and we met a couple. They were from Portland, Oregon, and we drank our way through Austria together. It was great. And the thing is, there was a moment at dinner. We were having dinner with them. I was like, "Hey man, let me get your number." Wait a minute. I'm not gonna do that. I said, "Man, what's your Instagram?" You know why I did that? Because once a phone number goes in your phone book, it's gone forever. It's gone. That's, if I were you, and this, like, I'm getting goosebumps right now because I wish someone told me this. If I were you, I would literally try to connect on LinkedIn with every single fucking person in your school at Cincinnati, in the tech, cybersecurity, software, data, whatever. Like, it would be my mission. If I were to go back and do college again, and by the way, I don't know if y'all know this, but when you open up your phone, go to LinkedIn, and you click on the search bar, there's a QR code up there. Did we see that? Not like, obviously, I'm not. Open up a damn phone and look at it yourself. You click on that QR code, I would save this as your screensaver on your phone for the next 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year you have left at the University of Cincinnati. This should be your screensaver. And what I would do is, yeah. So open up LinkedIn, go to the search bar, click the search bar. On the far right, there should be a QR code symbol. The app. Do you not have it? Does he not have it? You probably haven't updated it yet. Yeah. So click that. There you go. So what that does is that allows people to scan your phone and connect with you with no friction. So one thing I realized is networking is like dating. For real, right? How awkward is it? Anybody in here get a number for like a girl or guy? It's like, hey, can I have your number? It's like, sure. You pull out your phone and noisy bar. You're like, 6132, what? 6132. And you're just like, ah, fuck, here's my phone, right? And then the girl gives you the wrong number because she doesn't want to talk to you. Been there. So all that being said, this is a foolproof plan to get people into your network. And what I would do is I would spend, especially the closer you get to graduation, I would spend almost every waking moment on LinkedIn, liking, commenting, engaging, interacting. And the final way to use LinkedIn to find your dream job is DMing. You have to understand something. LinkedIn is the only platform where you can search any company that you've ever wanted to work for and DM a hiring manager and potentially start a conversation tonight. What's someone's dream company they want to work for out of college? And don't say FANG. Don't say even FANGs, because that's a cop out. Yes. I love that. So you could go on LinkedIn right now, type in that company's name in the search bar, right? Actually, let's just do it right now. Let's do it right now. How do you spell that? ASA? NA. Perfect. Oh yeah, project management tool. That's right. So Asana, right? People. There's 2,500 employees. Okay. Let me see if there's anybody in Cincinnati. Doesn't look like it. Let's see. I don't know why it says Kentucky. No one says that. Darn. So that's why I would start, right? Cincinnati. So then what I would do, I'd do United States. All right, scroll down. Here we go. Product manager, right? Steven. Design leadership, Micah. You could message Micah tonight. Hey, Micah, Asana is a dream company of mine I've always wanted to work for. I would love to pick your brain on what you look for when you hire juniors out of college. You could literally send Micah that message right now, and Micah could potentially message you back tonight and say, sure, I would love to chat with you. And guess what you just did? You got yourself an interview. Yes. That happens all the fucking time. Get over it, for real. Like literally, I always say my dating life in high school and college set me up to be a recruiter because I get rejected all the time. Right? Like it's going to happen all the time. People aren't going to message you. So I want to go over how to send a good DM, right? So this is very crude, but it's the truth. This is going to help you get laid and also get you a dream job. All right? Because I met my wife on Tinder and my DM game was terrible. Terrible. I did the hey smiley face. That was my DM. Hey, right? Creepy. And so basically, so this strategy is going to drastically help your responses because I actually use this for myself to get people on my podcast and my response rate. So the average response rate for recruiters is 20%. So every 100 DMs you send, 20 responses, right? When I use this tactic that I'm about to share, it went up to at least 50%. I'm probably batting closer to like 75% with this strategy. So here's the strategy. Again, if you get anything out of this, this is a good one. First off, when you message somebody, use admiration and flattery, right? Hey, Taylor, saw your talk tonight. You were great. You were funny. You're the funniest person I've ever seen. Thank you, right? Admiration, flattery. Second thing, a specific question. Strangers want to know what they're walking into, right? Third thing, a specific amount of time. I don't know about y'all, but when my mom says, you got 5 minutes, how long is that? How long is that? How long? No, not 5 minutes. Hell no. Thank you. Yeah, 5 hours. That's more like it. Yeah, like at least half an hour, right? Everyone says you got 5 minutes. Like, no, I ain't got 5 minutes. But here's the trick. You know what the trick is? 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 9 minutes, 13 minutes, 12 minutes. Because what that's going to do is it's going to catch that person's attention, right? People zone out. You got 5 minutes? No, I don't. You got 6 minutes? Okay, that's kind of funny and kind of clever. Sure, I'll talk to you. There's a difference. I mean, do y'all, like, it sounds different, right? I'm not crazy, right? It sounds different. Hey, Deb, you got 5 minutes? Or do you got 7 minutes? Which one are you responding to?
6.
I hate you. Right, definitely difficult, like always. So that's what I would do, right? And so going back to the activity section that we mentioned earlier, you want to check the activity section. If a manager does not respond, if there's nothing there, don't message them, right? You know, and then like Natalie, I messaged Natalie. Yeah, that chick is good. Natalie, hey Natalie, I see you're in people systems. I don't know what that means. But here, so junior devs like college boot camp. When I say junior devs, I just mean straight out of an institution. Have the best question to ask to get an interview. I want to know what you look for when you hire junior devs or junior cybersecurity or junior data folks. It is such a great question to ask. Why is it a great question to ask? It shows you're curious. Hiring managers like that. They want to know that you're going to research things, right? That you're curious, you're always asking questions. It shows you have initiative. It shows you're coachable, teachable. It shows all of that in that question. I would save it as a template. Save it as a template, right? And here's the deal. Probably tell you, I ain't got time for this. I got classwork. I got a social life. I got to go watch football tomorrow night, right? I ain't got time. What are you doing when you go to the bathroom? Really? What app do you open? I'm TikTok. What about y'all? Huh? LinkedIn, you are a nerd. I love it. Reddit? Who else? What do you open up when you go to the bathroom? Reddit? YouTube Shorts? Huh? Reels? Yeah. Huh? Okay. So it needs to be LinkedIn. It needs to be LinkedIn. This is your time where you can literally fire off. You can fire off probably, depending on how long you go to the bathroom for, you can fire off, what, 3 to 50 DMs. Right? Listen, we all need breaks from our family over the holidays. Holidays are coming. Who's going home for the holidays? Raise your hand. Right? Most people? You gotta have an escape. Go on LinkedIn, shoot some DMs off. You're probably like, Taylor, I'm on my second year. Listen, I know a ton of people who have found dream jobs before they graduated and they left college. All because they were networking. This is the way to network now. Yeah, these things are great. This is wonderful. Like, this is incredible. The fact you took time out of your evening to be here is absolutely incredible. And I'm beyond grateful. When it comes down to it, this is where magic happens. We're all on social media. All of us are. If I ask y'all to share your screen time with me, I saw a TikTok, one girl literally her screen time was 24 hours. I was like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So again, we're all on our phones. Take advantage of it. Any questions on the DM strategy at all? No? Pretty clear? Everybody write it down. I swear, if y'all fucking forget this, at least I got Canes out of it. All right. So I want to go to actually liking and commenting people's statuses. Right. I want to show you the power of it. So this is the only frustrating thing. Hold on real quick. I never like to do PowerPoint, so everything I do is live, so it's always kind of a shit show trying to find an example every single time. All right. This kind of works. It's not quite. Oh, here we go. There. This is good right here. All right, so this right here. My boy Dan. I don't like that. You can't see everything. All right, so in that post, in that section, whose name do you see the most? This is not a trick question. Dan. LinkedIn encourages you to like and comment on people's posts. If I told you that if you spent 30 minutes every day on LinkedIn, 15 minutes engaging, liking, and commenting people's posts, 15 minutes DMing, that would be the equivalent of going to, in my opinion, probably a 2-hour networking session. And you can knock it out in 30 minutes in your PJs, in your dorm, which to me sounds way better. Again, this is networking. This is where connections are made. Yes, you can go to job fairs, right? I went to job fairs at USC. I never took advantage of them, right? I did them, but I didn't do it well, right? The thing is that it's about getting people in your ecosystem, because somebody to your left or your right of you tonight could potentially be the CTO of a hot startup in 5 years, 7 years. And if you don't connect with them and engage with them consistently, they forget about you. But if you engage and connect with them, you're like, hey, bro, we were in class together. We saw Taylor. Remember, it changed our lives? Yeah. I'd love to come work with you. Boom, hire. It's that easy. The issue is no one does it. And again, commenting and liking, you can see that obviously it encourages commenting and liking more. All right. A final thing, please get comfortable with the search feature. Not final thing, because I'm going to hit up Polywork real quick, because I think I want to do that over Twitter. University of Cincinnati. I would always start. So the biggest thing that I regret in college is not networking on LinkedIn with people that went to South Carolina early. I'm giving you full permission to skip career fairs and do this instead. So what I would do if I were you, I would see all people, There are 325,000 people that went to the University of Cincinnati at some point in their lives that have it on LinkedIn. I would start messaging every single person that is in your career field on here. Because what you can do is you can also do current company, and you can also do filters, and you can do like companies you're targeting, industries, everything. And by the way, this is the basic LinkedIn profile. This is basic. Everybody has this, like, I gave up my like LinkedIn, like Recruiter Pro account because I literally, I prefer this way because the LinkedIn Recruiter is for recruiters is really cumbersome and dense and heavy, right? So literally, look, CISSP, Alex Cloft. I'd message Alex. He's in security. That's what CISSP is, right? Security. I'd message Alex. Hey, Alex. He's an adjunct professor here too. He knows a few people I know too, which is hilarious. Purple team, Cincinnati. Yeah, the Cincinnati Insurance Company. He's a service manager, security analyst. I'd message Alex is going to be like, why is Taylor looking at my profile? I'd message Alex like, Alex, listen, hey bro, came across your profile. Go Bearcats again. Well, he went to Miami. I don't know what University of Cincinnati came in then. That's weird. There you go. Yeah. So again, I would say like, hey, like, go Bearcats. You know, admiration, flattery. Would love to pick your brain for 6 minutes, and keep doing that over and over and over and over. And then what you do is you get on the call, 6 minutes. Listen, there's no pressure. There's just one question. Hey, listen, would love to chat with you for 6 minutes. Get them on the phone. Alex, what do you look for when you hire juniors out of college? Or how should I better myself coming out of college? Bang, 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 bang. Alex, man, I appreciate it. Here's the trick that no one else does. No one else does. If you're vibing with Alex, and don't do this if you're not vibing, but if you're vibing with Alex, hey, Alex, bro, is there anybody else you can introduce me to in your network that I could benefit from? I don't know if anybody's played the game where like you have a penny and you have to like try to get as much as you can, like you trade up, right? I never played that game, but I know it's a thing. It's the same thing with networking. You always want to ask for another introduction, so you essentially will never have another cold lead again. And that's a sales tactic we use in recruiting all the time, right? So if you do that, like the intros are so much easier and you start getting somewhere. And here's the deal. You're probably 99% of your conversations are just going to be chatting and nothing's ever going to lead from it. But you have to understand something. One conversation can completely transform your entire career. One conversation. All right, I want to hit up Polywork real quick because we're already at 8 and I don't want to take too long. Anybody else any questions? Because we're going to move on from LinkedIn. Nope. All right, sweet. So Polywork. Here's the deal. It is a new platform, newish. They just got their Series A. They haven't figured out exactly what they are yet. I interviewed the founder CEO. I haven't told him that. I've been trying to get him on the phone again so I can tell him because I feel like I have a lot of great ideas for him to make money. Peter Johnson, if you ever watch this clip, please call me. So basically, I want to go over the good parts of Polywork. But Polywork essentially is supposed to be like an online resume highlighting your accomplishments. So it's like purely accomplishments. So if you scroll down here, it's like pure accomplishments. I haven't used it that much, but like you can post things. But I want to highlight the important part of it. So there's something called badges on Polywork. So you can choose a badge about anything, right? So I'm a big Corgi fan. Love Corgis. I have one. His name's Walter. There's 18 people on Polywork who like Corgis. Look at that. Zach at Google loves Corgis. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to slide in Zach's DMs. Yo, bro, Corgi lovers. Yeah. Right? Look, Sean actually knows Sean. Technical leader, speaker. He's a Microsoft MVP. Yo, Sean. So I love Corgis. You too, bro. Right? There's so like what I love about Polywork is it's such an easy way to network because they have these badges, right? So like another badge you could pick too. Also, I've never seen those clubs. That's new. I need to get on this again. Another thing, software engineering. Look at this. Look at this. Hold on. Damn.
Probably a lot of software engineers.
30,000 of them. Right? I go through them. And here's what's really cool. You want to know what's really cool about Polywork? It actually saves the weirdness. Because you know the 3 strategies on how to DM somebody? Can somebody, I just want to make sure y'all listening. Can someone spot those off real quick? 3 strategies, go. Okay. Okay.
6 months.
Great, good. I'm glad y'all paying attention. All right, so here's what's awesome. Polywork takes that away because what you can do is you can collaborate. What? I'm not signed in? What are you talking about? All right, so here's the deal. So Alex is open to speaking at podcasts, events, live streaming, speaking at Twitter Spaces, content creation, writing. So literally you can go, well, I want to talk to Alex about how he does content creation. So you pick content creation, and then if I'm signed in, I don't know why I'm not signed in, you can like write a note. And then what Alex does is Alex gets notified, this person's interested in talking about content creation. So literally it takes the guesswork out of networking. It really does. Did everybody see that? Any questions so far on Polywork? I do want to get to this part about Polywork too. And again, we're just hitting this too hard. I haven't seen clubs. What is this? Private only. Oh, that's cool. I didn't see that. All right, so collaborate's really, really cool. So here's why this is so freaking awesome. So I need to actually just log in. It's not doing what I need it to do. Hold on. Again, this is the problem with doing things live and not on PowerPoint. All right. So collaborate. So here's why this is so amazing. So you can literally look at like stuff to collab. So if y'all want resume feedback, y'all look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, no one said an opportunity like that. Oh well. But literally like advisor opportunities. Like these people are like want advisor opportunities, right? Like what Polywork is and what I love is it gives you the ability to network with folks with like-minded things, right? All this up here, opportunities for writers, people at Discord open to freelance roles, right? Cyclists, chatting opportunities. Like you can literally leverage this whole platform to meet people. And what's awesome about this, like LinkedIn, you have to do some, it's grinding, right? You have to like DM and engage. Polywork, it's a little cumbersome right now, but Polywork allows you the opportunity to be able to like immediately network with people because there's common interest on here, right? Like you see like, look, people at Coinbase, you can hit up, if your dream job is Coinbase, I don't think that's a great job to work at right now, but if you want to go to Coinbase, right? Like you can click Coinbase, there's 19 people who are open to collaborating. You just message them. Hey, it's open to collaborating, right? Tinker around with Polywork because it's huge. All right, so I want to end on 2 stories real quick, and then we'll be done for the night. And again, thank you all so much for coming out. I really, really appreciate it. The first story, and they're kind of the same, but it shows the power of networking. So basically, I had this one gentleman out of Mississippi, and this one individual was sent to me by 2 other developers who was really struggling with job search, like really struggling. When I say really struggling, moved back in with his parents. I think he told me he had like $5 to his name and didn't have a job for over a year. This individual, when I did my first kind of like counseling call with him, very hunched over, could not speak very coherently, had extremely hard problems articulating his background. I mean, literally the entire call, he was like this. And I was like, okay. So I told him, I said, listen, I need you to network with 1 person a day. Just talk to one person. So I said, so what's your networking strategy like? He goes, I talked to like 1 person. I go, like, in a day? He goes, what? I go, in a day, right? He goes, no. He was like, I do it like one a week. I was like, whoa. So we got to up those numbers, buddy. 1 a day. Shoot for 1 a day. I said, book a time with me in 2 weeks. Book a time with me in 2 weeks. Had another call. And this is literally, and I didn't make any money off this guy. This is the coolest story, aside from the last time I tell. Kind of very similar though. Second meeting I had with him, it was a little bit of a presence, different presence, right? He kind of had his shoulders up a little bit, still kind of working on kind of his words a little bit, but I could tell he was more confident, smile a little bit more. I said, what's been going on, man? You seem different. He goes, man, having conversations. I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, and it's awesome. I said, that's fantastic. I said, keep at it. He said, okay, click. Right? 2 weeks later, he's like, this guy, it just gives me chill bumps talking about it. Like, he's smiling. And I was like, dude, what's going on? He goes, I found a job. And I was like, how? He goes, I just messaged people. And he goes, I literally messaged a person, we had a conversation, they like my background, they put me through the interview, I got a job. Another story is my dad, and I'll close on this story. My dad, at the time, 55 years old. I don't know about y'all, but my dad's like the angry texter. Like, just he seemed angry all the time when he texts, right? Does a FaceTime like this, like very traditional dad, big dad vibes. Love the dad, big dad vibes. He owned the Outback Steakhouse, right, for 25 years. And he quit. It was essentially killing him, had spinal surgery, all this stuff. And it got too much, so he quit. And he called me up one day and he goes, Taylor, how do I find a job? And in that moment, like I realized like I've become so numb to job seekers, right? Like I grew up not asking people salaries, right? Like I grew up Southern Baptist, like you don't talk about like salaries or anything, right? And so now my name's like, hey, my name's Taylor, how much do you make? So it's like I become numb to it. So when my dad calls me and was like, hey, I need help, it sobered me up pretty quickly. So I was like, Dad, I said, give me a second. He said, okay. And he said, okay. He goes, just FYI, he goes, last time I was on the job search, the internet didn't exist. Damn, you old. And so I was like, all right. I was like, give me the night. So I woke up the next morning and I was like, I talked to my wife and I was like, how do I dumb this down? I was like, I got to dumb down how I am as a recruiter so I can help my dad. And this is where this whole thing, networking thing, I'm so passionate because it's literally worked for every single person that's put into practice. The issue is 99% of y'all won't put this into practice. And then you'll be 33 years old regretting your time in Cincinnati because you didn't network with people. So my dad, so I called my dad the next day and my dad was like, hey, I was like, hey, I got it. He goes, what you got? I go, 1. He goes, what? I go, 1. He goes, I don't know what you're saying. I go, you need to have one conversation a day with a stranger, right? This was pre-COVID, coffee, lunch, dinner, whatever. 1, open up your phone, call some people, open up LinkedIn, call people. I said, stick to it. Trust me, it'll work. 1 a day. He goes, okay. Started doing it. And, kind of going back to the DMs, there's one individual who, she was like, what if they don't respond? A lot of leads you're going to get are not going to go anywhere. They're just not. Right? My dad called me multiple times. I gotta leave. This is great. I said, and then 2 weeks later, like, how'd that lead go? He goes, he went nowhere. I was like, that's fine. Just keep trying. Keep going. And then, then one day my dad calls me and he goes, you won't believe this. I got a job. And I was like, how? Because like, listen, like for us, it's easy, right? Tech industry, LinkedIn, Twitter, like it's online. It makes sense. My dad's in the restaurant industry, right? My dad was like, I messaged an old coworker on LinkedIn that's at a new restaurant concept, and he is looking for a manager. And I worked with this individual for 15 years ago, and I got a job because of it. If my dad, 55-year-old dad, can find a job on LinkedIn, y'all have no excuse. So I'm going to end it tonight. Thank y'all again for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. I'll be up here answering questions, but thank y'all so much.
All right, thank you everyone for showing up. Tyler was Dev here. Thank Dev for finding Tyler for all of us. And also thank you to ACM and ITSA, the 2 clubs that kind of arranged all this together. I just want to let you know that I'm going to put kind of like a QR code for ITSA. I think over half this crowd is ACM members. So I'm just going to put a link. ITSA is going to be hosting events later on. So if you want to be updated with those, you can follow a link, follow us on Instagram. We just opened it. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening. Both, if you have anything.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Let's chat it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what's up? I love the vibe we had.
I started like a coding channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I make this game, I make this.
Yes.
Do you think I should sit down and optimize?
Yes, I think you should also stream on LinkedIn.
They have a streaming.
StreamYard. So if you use any like third-party streaming platform, StreamYard's one of them. You can, I think there's like a really relatively cheap version to do like 1 or 2 platforms. Literally, I would stream every day on through LinkedIn. Yes, every day.
Sure.
Yes. Because what
Yeah,
happens
like
is
split
once you
screens,
start
I
putting
also
yourself
put, like,
out
the
there,
QR code.
people find you. I mean, Dev, for example, like Dev's got more subscribers than I do on
No,
YouTube
just like show
because he
up
put
on
himself
my
out
face,
there
say,
and he's grown it. So like putting yourself out there is only going to help you. It's not going to hurt you. Yeah, everything. Yeah. Now, if I were you, this kind of gets into kind of like content creator type thing. I would stream yourself live. If there's a way you can do audio and kind of talk through it, it's huge for hiring managers. If you do, what I would do too is you could also use Loom, and you could like stream you could literally like not live, but you can like talk through your projects. I know a lot of junior developers that have gotten jobs because they get on
I do
Loom,
want to share
they
that
screen
page.
share, they walk through their project, and then they post a 3-minute video on LinkedIn.
Thank you, sir.
And that's huge. It's huge.